Hello everyone, welcome back to Newsroom. I'm Chella Smith. This is your Middle East U.S. entertainment news here on YouTube. I air on Fridays. I bring you the latest on reforms and economics Iraq based on reports put out by the Middle East news media outlets. I do this weekly review and it's based off my interest. We're back up and running as normal. Last week we spoke about the Trade Bank and JP Morgan discussing the developments of mechanisms of the banking operations, Iraq fulfilling the requirements for Iraq's ascension into the World Trade Organization. We also talked about Iraq making room for the private sector and providing alternative energy with OPEC using natural gas and the exchange rate. Make sure you're subscribed and turn those notification bells on so that way when I'm live or when I have an early release show, you're in the know. Tap the like button so others like yourself can find us. Let's take a look at this week's headlines. Today, Friday, the financial advisor to the Prime Minister, Mauser Mohammed Shaleh, reveals the most important task of the Finance and Business Center in Iraq, while confirming that it will be placed for the activities of selling and trading governmental and private securities, similar to what exists in the world. This is a great sign. Shaleh says in a statement to the official fourth agency that the importance of establishing the financial center in Iraq, announced by the Central Bank of Iraq, lies in the scope of the country's financial and banking development strategies, and now a start in the importance of establishing and building geographical locations in which the financial operations in which is contributed are concentrated, a world spectrum of institutions participating in the financial activity in their country, in which their business is integrated and interconnected in the inputs and outputs, specifically banking business and management of various financial assets, and the non-banking financial sector, businesses such as insurance and reinsurance companies, financial investment funds, heads, and various logistical businesses that support financial market activities. In both its parts, banking and non-banking, it is supported at the same time by various financial intermediation businesses that will use the ultra-modern financial technologies. He added that the Formation Center will be placed for the activities of selling and trading governmental and private securities, whether stocks as property instruments or bonds as debt instruments, whether those are listed in the Iraqi Stock Exchange and or not, in addition to various clearing operations and the general activities of primary and secondary financial markets as issuing and trading bodies. And Shaleh continues to say that the financial center includes consulting offices such as offices and accounting and auditing companies related to legal offices and credit rating agencies, noting that in this way, the financial center is an integrated complex of services and geographical spots that enable dealers to have direct access to large capital pools, at the forefront of which are local and international banks, insurance companies, investment funds, and capital markets. He also indicated that the financial center is an important site in conducting transactions related to modern finance engineering, such as financial securitization, operations, and management of financial derivatives and their modern tools, in addition to tax regulation working for them. Stressing that the financial instruments approved in the world's financial markets will find their correct and legal birth in the financial center of Iraq, similar to the financial systems in the world such as Dubai, Singapore, and Shanghai. And many of them are in an international city in such like London, Frankfurt, New York, and others. This is so exciting for Iraq. They've come a long way. The Central Bank of Iraq's media office reported the Central Bank of Iraq has organized a dialogue education workshop for the employees of the Central Bank of Iraq and managers of administration departments. The Director of Human Resource Affairs and the Director of the Department and Training Department has said in a lecture that they emphasize the interest in human relations and their repercussions of the performance of the Central Bank of Iraq. The workshops dealt with ways to raise the employees to the highest level through development training and participation in conferences inside and outside the country. And it was emphasized that the employees represent the true image and facades of the ancient institutions. Baghdad Ops List reports a member of the Kyrgyzstan Democratic Party, the KDP, Wafa Mohammad Karim, reveals an upcoming visit by the Turkish President Recep to Baghdad next week to discuss the issues of resuming oil exports. Karim says in a statement that the Turkish has set 3 basic points for the re-exports of oil through the ports of Siham, but the Iraqi government did not approve them during the last meeting. He added that the oil problem is no longer in the hands of the Kyrgyzstan government, and the file has completely shifted into the hands of the federal government, specifically SOMO, noting that the Turkish President Recep will visit the Iraqi capital Baghdad and the capital of the Kyrgyzstan region, Erbil, next week to resolve the issues of exporting the region's oil again. Earth News reports the head of the State of Law Coalition, Nouri al-Maliki, receives in his office the ambassador of the United States of America, Elena Romanowski. During the meeting, according to the statement by Maliki's office, that was discussed political and security developments in the country and in the region, as well as cooperations between the two countries in ways that enhance the bonds of work and coordination at a political, economic, and cultural level to serve the common interests of the two friendly people. Al-Maliki pointed out that Iraq is preparing to complete the reconstruction and construction process, especially after the adoption of the federal budget, stressing that the need for everyone's efforts to consolidate political and economic stability in the country according to the comprehensive vision, and focus on the priority projects, especially in health, housing, and basic services. Also in support investment and the entry of foreign companies, especially the Americans, according to what was approved by the Strategic Framework Agreement, concluding between Baghdad and Washington. He stressed the need for the ambassador of Iraq and the United States of America to exert efforts in strengthening and developing relations and establishing bilateral cooperation in accordance with the principles of mutual respect and common interests. In turn, the U.S. ambassador affirms her country's commitment to Iraq's people and the Iraqi government, praising Maliki's role in developing relations between Iraq and the United States of America because of his influence, presence in the states and in the Iraqi political scene. Shafak News went on to report the delegations from the American Chamber of Commerce expressed on Tuesday the presence of the active businesswomen in the private sector in addition to the development of local food products in the Kyrgyzstan region. This came at a press conference held by the U.S. Consul General in the territory, Irvin Hicks Jr., with a delegation from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce visiting Erbil. Jr. said during the conference that the visit of delegations sends a very important message to American commitments to develop and support investments in the Kyrgyzstan region, adding that this visit comes with the Strategic Framework Agreement between Iraq and America in supporting the development of various sectors. Steve Lotus, Vice President of the American Chamber of Commerce for the Middle Eastern Affairs, says during the same conference that the visit of the large delegation was prepared for years. He added that there are American companies accompanied by the delegation visiting the Kyrgyzstan region for the first time, and some companies have been operating for nearly a decade, such as PepsiCo. Explaining during the visit, we had several meetings of new and old companies to learn about and nature of work and investments in the region. Lotus stressed that the Kyrgyzstan region wants to provide services, assistance, and facilitate to American companies seeking to come to the region and work in it, indicating that our message is in light of this type of transparency, and discussions between us will become an environment that attracts American companies to visit the Kyrgyzstan and work in the investment projects in Kyrgyzstan. He continued by saying that what is a pleasure in our visit to the visit, we witnessed businessmen and businesswomen at the same time in the Kyrgyzstan region, in addition to local food products, including honey, pomegranate, and refreshments such as ice cream, which encourages investment opportunities in the private sector. And it's official. Shafak News reports President Abdul Latif Jamil Rashid approved on June 21st, 2023, the federal public finance budget law. Rashid stressed that the approval of the budget is turning point to start towards the government's implementation of its programs, which includes securing the necessary needs of the citizens, providing basic services such as health and education, rehabilitating infrastructure, and starting vital and strategic projects that will reflect positively on the reality of daily lives of the citizens. He pointed out the need to work to rationalize government spending and preserve public money in developing and diversifying the source of economy at times when the country faces economic and environmental challenges. The President of the Republic also praised the efforts made to approve the budget by all parties and to take into account the importance of operational and investment aspects such as equality of low-income groups in order to achieve social justice. On June 12th, the Iraqi Council of Representatives voted on the financial budget for 3 years, 2023, 2024, and 2025, worth $198.9 trillion Iraqi dollars. $153 billion per year. And lastly, the Parliamentary Finance Committee has announced the date of publication of the instructions of the budget law. The budget law is expected to be published in the official Gazette next Sunday. The instructions of the budget law will be issued after Eid al-Adha. And you've been watching Newsroom Weekly Review. I'm Chella Smith, your Middle East U.S. entertainment news on reforms and economics Iraq. I bring you the latest Dinar news without having to keep up with all the different outlets. I'm here on YouTube every Friday, so don't forget to subscribe and turn those notification bells on. If you like my content, you can always leave a thumbs up. If you really like my content, you can always seed a super chat or a super thanks in the comment section below. I've been spending a lot of time in my garden. I wore this pretty jacket today to represent the beginning stages of harvesting. Lots of fruits and vegetables to share with my children, neighbors, and friends. I'd love to hear what's growing in your gardens or in your flower beds. Please drop those comments below. And if you have any tips for me, I'm a second-year gardener. I'd love to hear them. I hope you have a blessed day today and a wonderful Saturday and Sunday fun day. And thank you for visiting Newsroom Chella Smith for your trusted Dinar news. I'll see you guys next Friday. I may have a live midweek. Subscribe now so you get those notifications. Take care. Make sure you join us Fridays, 4 p.m. with Newsroom Updates with Chella Smith Entertainment News.